Marketing Your Private Practice is a podcast where you'll learn easy to implement tips and strategies to grow your business without spending all day online. I'm your host, Kathy Colaiacovo, and I teach practitioners the Thrive marketing method to create simple and streamlined plans by focusing on long-term strategies, not just social media. Discover ways to spend less time on your marketing, attract more clients, and build the financial freedom that comes with a thriving practice. One where you have time left in your day for the people and things that matter to you. Hey, private practice heroes. This is Kathy Colaiacovo, and thanks for tuning in today because I have a special lesson that is critical about your messaging when it comes to marketing your private practice. And it is especially important for those of you with a signature program or course that people can buy, or even if you're thinking about creating one of these for your business. The focus of this lesson today is messaging, which is one of the 4 pillars of marketing a business online. And the reason I want to share this with you is because recently I've been on some websites doing some research, checking out some information, and I've seen this same messaging over and over on different websites, people that don't even know one another. And what they're doing in their copy on their website is trying to tell people about their signature programs and actually using those words, signature program, in the website copy. Yeah, I've totally seen the phrase, be sure to sign up for my signature program on some of these websites. And this is a huge problem when it comes to your marketing, but a lot of people don't even recognize that it's an issue. Now, let's just back up a second because there might be some folks out there listening in and wondering, what the heck is a signature program, Kathy? So we'll start there. What is a signature program? Well, in the context that we're talking about here, it is typically a service somebody offers that has a definable process or steps or a framework. Something where it's typically steps that you might take every client through to get them to what they'll be able to do or have or be that's going to be better or different than before they started working with you. That's the outcome or the transformation. Often, this service is in the form of an online course or a program or a hybrid program that combines a course with coaching from the expert offering the program. In most cases, a signature program is a group program or a standalone one where many folks can register at the same time. So for the person offering the signature program, it's a way to build that one-to-many income stream. 10 people buy and join the program, and you deliver the live portions of it to 10 people all at once. Or maybe 20 or 30 or 40 or more people buy the standalone program that involves no time with you, and they all pay you for the same program. One program, many people make the purchases, and that's how you get that one-to-many income stream. So that's what a signature program is. It is really something in the way of a service that someone might offer other people that takes them through a process and gives them a transformation, helps them solve a problem that they're looking to solve. So that's what a signature program is all about. And there are tons of business coaches out there who teach people how to create their signature program because it can be a great way to scale your business or your practice by having that stream of income that is not something you're doing one-to-one with clients. You create the signature program, that one program, and it becomes the base offer that you have because it is the ideal way for many people to get the results and transformation you offer with your expertise. And people often go to that place where they want to create a signature program because they find they're saying and doing the same things over and over with their clients. And that's why they end up developing these programs and working with the coaches who are out there teaching people to create a signature program. But in the quest to offer that great signature program, many times practice and business owners get so busy creating it that when they finally go to put the information on their website to tell people about their signature problem, that's where this issue that I'm talking about today comes into play. That's where I start seeing this mistake happening on the websites. And in particular, what I saw on those websites when I was doing the research. The mistake? Actually referring to these signature programs as a signature program. That's some of the content I've seen and read on these websites that I was talking about, where folks are offering a signature program. You see them with wording that reads just like this. You can get started by registering for my signature program. Or maybe it says something like, I have a signature program that will help you. Or it could even read something to the effect of, take my signature program today. So do you at all see the issue now when I say it those 3 different ways, the messaging issue? Yeah, everybody has a signature program there and nothing is unique about it. If all you offer the folks is your signature program, and by the way, I don't know if you can hear my fingers doing the air quotes there, but I am. When I talk about the signature program and when I see it and when folks are just offering that on their website, you are really missing out on some key messaging content. Whether you write what you say to people online or you say it to people face to face, you are not providing the best possible message so that people understand what you offer. You're not doing this if you just tell them they can sign up for your signature program and you call it that. If your written content, whether it's in website content, email content, or social media, if it only ever refers to your program as a signature program, nothing will hit home with folks that are reading it or hearing it or listening to it or seeing it. Nothing hits home for them as to what that program is going to do for them or how it will help them, which is a big part of what your messaging should do. And that's what people want to know. What is it? How will it help me? And that is the message you need to deliver. The name signature program does none of this. Messaging is a critical piece of your marketing, and it has to be clear, concise, and easily understood by people no matter what medium you're delivering it through. So what do you do instead of calling it a signature program? And those air quotes are happening again, by the way. You want to give your signature program a name. And a lot of times people actually have a name, but they don't refer to it by the name. So if you have a signature program, give it a name and start calling it by its name. And in fact, when I meet with folks for marketing reviews or assessments, honestly, they typically do have a name for their program. They've just had those words, signature program, ingrained into what they've done so long, creating the program and talking about it and building it, that they forget to stop referring to it as a signature program. And they don't use the name that they actually have. So this is why it is so important for you to stop referring to any program or service you have like this by anything other than its name. And you cannot get out there and start marketing it by calling it or referring to it as a signature program. So when you saw the title of today's episode where it says, no one wants your signature program, but they do want this, that's what I'm referring to, is everyone is calling their signature program a signature program. It's not going to catch the attention that you're looking for. So you have to give it a name, and you probably have one already. But more importantly, you have to start calling it by its name. Think about it. If you were a typical client of, let's say, a dietitian that specializes in intuitive eating and body image and health at every size. So their clients are typically someone looking to stop dieting and stop fighting with food every day. And they really want to start feeling good about themselves. So if as the client, you were talking to 2 different practitioners, or you were on their website and seeing their content, and one of them said they could help you with their signature program, and that's the only words that you saw on the website, or you saw the other one who said they could help you with their stop dieting and start loving food and your body program. Which one is going to catch your attention more? The signature program or the one with the name? And you're probably saying, well, yeah, the one that says stop dieting and start loving food in your body. The reason that that one is catching your attention is because you know from the program name how they're going to help you and what will happen to you when they do help you and when you do sign up for the program. The first one that just says sign up for my signature program is not going to convey much of a message to you. So when given the option, people will always lean toward the second one because of the clarity of that message. And that clarity makes it crystal clear to people how that person can help someone with the problem that they have. It helps them make their decision faster on who to talk to and who they want to work with. And this lesson really does apply to almost every service or program you offer too, not just for the folks that have a signature program out there. Because any service that you offer needs to have marketing that is very clear as to what that offer is so that it appeals to people fast and easy without them doing a lot of thinking. The world we live in today is full of noise and people competing for the attention of their message. This is why your marketing needs to stand out in a very clear way. And it needs to communicate 3 things to make it as easy as possible for people to understand. 1, you want them to know that you get their problems. You understand. 2, you want to make sure that they fully understand that you can help them solve that problem because you've got something that looks like a solution to them. And the third thing is it's got to share some way, somehow, with the people reading or hearing it, what life will be like after they've used that service, that program, or taken that course you have. So when we go back to the example of sign up for my signature program or sign up for the Stop Dieting and Start Loving Food in Your Body program, what one will most people who are looking for a solution to stop the dieting problem that they have, what one are they going to gravitate towards? They will head towards the messaging that gives them a clear message and communicates the transformation they can experience. The one with an effective name that was used in the marketing message. And just so we are clear here, that name of that program is just an example I made up as I was doing this podcast. It's not a real program name, but you get the idea when I share it in that way. Your marketing is not going to hit home and will not move forward as fast as it will when your messaging is lacking the clarity it needs to connect with people hearing or seeing it. If you want that message hitting home and moving forward and having people attracted to what you offer and asking about working with you and signing up to work with you, the best way to counteract the issue of lack of clarity when you have a signature program is to stop referring to your signature program as that and use its proper name. And if you haven't already, I do encourage you to give it a name too. And that name becomes the only way that you refer to the program ever. You have to promise me that you're not going to use those words, signature program, again. Or if you're in the middle of creating a program, that you'll never use it, that you'll start with this advice right here, right now, and use the name of your program. This is something I help the clients in the Thrive Marketing Academy work on in order to get that clarity of messaging into their marketing. We work on creating effective names for their programs and services. And they also learn how to weave that name into all of their marketing, whether it's written or it's online or it's in website copy, in emails or social media. Because the only way you stop this issue with your marketing is to start using the name of your program in all of the messaging. And it's at this stage here that I typically make folks promise me to never ever use those bland words, signature program, ever again. So if you can give me, that 2-finger promise and do that here now, I really want that from you. Because this is where you then want to move into a place where you start using the name of that program everywhere and every time you refer to it. Use it in your introductions and your elevator pitches. Use it in your email marketing content and your social media marketing content. Use it in your calls to action. Use it in your website copy. Use it everywhere. One of the things that often happens, though, is when you come up with this new name, you might need to practice it. You might need to write things down and get comfortable using these phrases and saying these words. But the use of the name has to become second nature for you. Because when it is, that's when you're not going to be stumbling across words when it comes to doing those face-to-face ones, or maybe it's virtually you're doing an introduction. You really want to have absolute comfort in saying this and talking about your program using the name, especially in what I refer to as your one-line offer statement. Using the name of your program definitely should be included in your marketing content everywhere, written or spoken. But that one-line offer statement that you say to people, that you write to people, it must have the name of your program in there. And I do not mean the words signature program. I mean the actual name. So making sure that you've got a clear and concise name will help you as you build these one-line offer statements, as you build your marketing content, your email, your social media content. And of course, I do have a few do's and don'ts that will help you optimize your own one-line offer statement. Number one, you definitely want to make it clear and concise and make it memorable too, with a flow to your words. You don't want it to be something that you're really thinking hard of. You want it to be easy to say so that it just flows off your tongue. You do want to use the name of your program in this one-line offer statement. It's going to be critical here. You don't want to sell yourself short by using minimizing words either when you're talking about your program. These are words like just or little, and I hear people use them a lot, particularly in their elevator pitches or their one-line offer statements. Phrases like, I have a little program. I just offer XXX, whatever it is. Yeah, no way. You need to stop using those words right now. Don't minimize things. You have a program and it's got a name. Stand in that power and tell people what it is. And if you need a little help with standing in your power, definitely listen to episode 27, 3 Ways to Deliver Your Marketing Messages with Confidence and Clarity. I'll link to that in the show notes, but it will help you say things like this and stand in the power that you have in those moments, those 30 seconds or minutes that you have to get on your soapbox. It's really important that you do this here and you leave those minimizing words behind. I also don't want you leading your one-line offer statement with your history. I want you to stay in the present. And I've noticed this of late with some of my new Thrive Marketing Academy members. And if that's one of you listening in, I'm not picking on you. But you all understand after we had our intros with the last group that there were a lot of folks that talked about in their elevator pitch and sort of their, tell us who you are, what you do, what you offer, kind of introductions that we were sharing in our orientation. When you lead with your history, you are starting in the past. And I don't want you doing that. I want you to stay in the presence. And that's partly helping you stand in your power. You don't want to tell people what you used to do. You want to tell them what you do now, what you have now. You have this awesome program and it's called whatever your name is. So you want to make sure that you don't lead with your history. That can always follow sometimes if you have longer time to talk with people. But if we're talking about the moments that you have to say your one-line offer statement or an elevator pitch, don't waste it with your history. Not if it's not relevant to what you're doing in the present. Now, I know that a lot of you are going to say, well, it is relevant. Is how I got here. I get that. Talk about where you are now and stay in the present. Leave the history behind for now. You can get into that later on. The thing you have to remember is people always remember the first few words that you say. You only have a couple seconds to make a good first impression. We've all heard it before. Don't talk about what you did before. Talk about what you're doing now. The other thing I want you to do when you're optimizing your one-line offer statement or your elevator pitch is do ensure that people understand the transformation they're going to experience from your program. You may not need to go into in-depth in this, but you just want to make sure they get a bit of a taste of what life could be like. So if you're not quite sure how to make this happen, let's go back to the example I used earlier, the program that I called the Stop Dieting and Start Loving Food in Your Body program. Now, I'll be honest, it is a little long here. Again, I just kind of made it up in the moment here when I was doing this podcast. Typically, I'd be looking for something possibly a little shorter, but it's not that bad. It is under 10 words as the title of the program. So that's pretty much on point for what we're looking for. And it's pretty clear from the words what happens in the program. So if we were to use the name of this program on a website, we'd simply indicate in mentions of the program or calls to action, register now for the Stop Dieting and Start Loving Food and Your Body program. Sounds so much better than just register now for my signature program. Or maybe you're a business owner or practice owner and you're talking to folks at a networking meeting and you were introducing yourself. So you could say something like, hey everyone, I'm Kathy Colaiacovo with KathyCNutrition.com, and I help women over 40 who are struggling with their weight and don't like what they see in the mirror. I show them a proven method to stop dieting and start loving food and their body again. That's another way to say your statement by not using the words signature program. Or if you were posting content on social media to tell people who you are and what you do. We often do this in networking groups online. You know, everybody will tell you, hey, welcome to the new members. Please introduce yourself. So for an example like this, you could say something like, I'm Kathy Colaiacovo, and I work with women who are tired of struggling with food and their body and figuring out what diets will finally help them feel at peace with their body again. If you want to learn more about making this happen for your life, you can check out the Stop Dieting and Start Loving Food in Your Body program I offer on my KathyCNutrition.com website. There's another way to put the name of the program in there. Sometimes you refer to it as a program. Sometimes you might talk about it as a method. And these are just a couple of examples. But if you replace the title of that program anywhere in those 3 examples I just gave you with the word signature program, which people actually do and say a lot of the time, you can feel how different the impact is and why folks who use this terminology just don't get as far as others who have a specific program name in their marketing messages. If I was out there saying, hey everyone, I'm Kathy Colaiacovo with Kathy C Nutrition, and I help women over 40 struggling with food and their weight and who don't like what they see in the mirror, I help them by registering them in my signature program. If you want to hear more about it, reach out to me. Well, that one might get you a little far because I was pretty clear in who the ideal client was and their problem. But at the end of it, it's so less effective than saying, I help them learn a proven method to stop dieting and start loving food and their body again. If you were having that problem or knew someone having that problem, you would understand how I would help them. You might not know the very specifics of what's involved, but you don't need to know that. You need to know stop dieting and start loving food and their body again. Big difference from signature program. And yes, it can be challenging to get comfortable doing this, but it is possible to do. It's something we work on a lot in a couple of the modules of training in the Thrive Marketing Academy, because you've got to get to that place of ease when you're using this tactic in your marketing and in your messaging. So, what is your action step from today's lesson on messaging in your marketing and why I said and titled this episode that no one wants your signature program, but they want something else? It's because they do. So your action steps today are, if you have a signature program and you even think you may have said those words before in your marketing, I actually want you to go back and check your website copy, your marketing copy, your messages. And if in fact you did use that term, I want you to make a plan to swap it out with a better option. Now, that will be your action step number 2 if you haven't done this before. That better option is to create an effective name for your program and start using that in all of your marketing content and your messaging. Stop saying signature program and start using that name of your program, because it makes it really clear, because you've taken the time to name it well. It makes it very clear to people what you offer them and how you help them. And the third step is, when it comes to saying a short intro or message about your program or your services, have that one-line offer statement ready so that you can simply open your mouth and the words will flow out. This takes practice. I can tell you that right now from personal experience. But you want to get to that comfort place so that if you type the words or you say the words, they're going to flow so easy because you've practiced it. So you want to have that clear, concise statement ready to share with folks anytime. And I recently heard on my Center for Women in Business networking group, I think it was a few weeks ago, somebody mentioned that one of the things that they do when they go on virtual networking events like that is they actually have a Word document with their one-line offer statement and how they may want to say it in the way of either speaking it out loud in the group or copy and pasting it when people ask for that kind of information in the chat on a virtual group. So that's a couple of other ways that you can practice and have that short intro or message, your one-line offer statement ready to say anytime. And following these 3 steps will help you stop using those generic words and saying that you have the same generic signature program as everyone else. And it will allow you instead to get to a place where you share how you help people in such a unique way that it will hit home hard and fast with the people hearing it. They'll be ready and willing to work with you right away because they get what you have to offer. It's not just a signature program. It's something specific that you have and that they know can specifically help them. People don't want your signature program. What they do want is a program that's going to help them in a very specific way to solve the problem that they have. And if you're not sure how to create your own one-line offer statement and how to do this with your own services and programs, why not book a free marketing messaging review with me? In about 30 minutes, we'll talk about what you have to offer, what your programs are, your services, and I'll help you come up with some of the ideas for telling people about your signature program and using that one-line offer statement so you leave those words, signature program, behind you forever. And if you want to book one of those free reviews, you can do that at pepperitmarketing.com/review. And I will link to that in the show notes as well. I hope this episode has made you think a little bit differently, because even if you don't have what I'm referring to as a signature program, look at your messaging and make sure that you're not using generic terms when you could be using something very specific. A name, something that lets people know exactly what you do and how you help them. This is Kathy Colaiacovo saying thanks for tuning in. And remember, to thrive in practice means honing your marketing messages so that you and your signature program stand out from all the others with that clear name and transformation people get when they work with you. They need to understand exactly how you're going to help them and know and trust that you have the solution for their problem. I'll see you next time. You can find all of our show notes and resources mentioned at marketingyourprivatepractice.com. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at pepperitmarketing and say hi. I'd love to hear any feedback you have, and make sure to rate and review the podcast and hit subscribe on your favorite player so you don't miss any future episodes.